The third title and the final one in this volume for Face Secrets, I have to say, it's hard for me. It's FS18, Uria's Respite. And I'll tell you why it's hard for me is that when I was setting this up, I thought this was going to be an incredible role-playing module, right? The PCs in their journey, they get to their destination, and then there's this community around Bancross, who is hiding inside of a Mordekainen's magnificent mansion. And I had two things in particular. I had this really great boer hag, but she's complex. She is one of the oldest hags around, and because of her age, her attitudes have changed. Right? First of all, she doesn't really affiliate with other hags the way that hag culture typically does. She's decided that she doesn't like other hags. She's kind of a crotchety old woman. And then secondly, she has an affinity for this community that she oversees. This community is orcish in nature. And so it's set way, way in the north. You're like, well, how can a community exist there? Well, it's because a boer can control weather for 8 hours a day. So 8 hours a day, it's this pleasant grotto with a pool and orcs going about a pleasant life. And then the 8 hours is up, and then very quickly you have the polar region returns for the next 16 hours. Is this dangerously cold environment. The orcs have cave dwellings to protect them from the environment deep inside this glacial mountain. So I had, and the orcs worship the Buhera like a deity. So it had, I had this very complex culture, and I had this very interesting deity type creature that these 18th level PCs I was expecting them to have these really great, and the times I ran it, I have to say that I was a little disappointed in the role-playing aspect of it. It turned out to be much more, we need to kill Bancross, but I like Uria's. The name of the grotto is Uria's Respite. That's where and I like it so much that I almost certainly will return to this module. I mean, to this environment, not to this module, but to this setting for future modules. I want to flesh out that history, and I want to give players the opportunities to dig their fingers into that squishy mess. It's just so cool. There are things that did happen that I was glad they happened. Like the orc tribe is very small, right? Because they're in this polar region. They just don't have they have to live in secret. So they have a problem with genetic diversities. So you've got this influx of outsiders with new genetic materials, and it's like, hey, it could be time to make some half-orcs. And so that was interesting, right? That was fun and interesting. And so some of the things that I was hoping would take place did take place, but just not all the stuff. It left me a little flat when I ran it. So I think the material is there for, if you view it online, if you view it on YouTube, I think the material there is there for a much richer adventure than what I wound up extracting from my PCs. So, but I'm pretty proud of this adventure. I think it's pretty good.